Welcome to the Get Wealth Show, where we uncover the secrets to building real wealth through real estate from the people who have actually done it. Each episode gives you proven strategies, modern market insight, and actionable steps you can use today to build wealth through real estate investing. Now, here's your host, Michael Hoang.
Welcome back to I'm your host, Michael Hoang, and today I'm so excited to have Joe and Jen here today. How you guys doing?
Amazing. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Okay. Can you pronounce your last name for me? Because I've said it 3 different ways since we've met each other.
It's Delle Fave.
Delle Fave. Okay.
You got it.
Your phone, like how it does voice to text or whatever, it pronounced your number or your name Delle Fave to me, and that stuck in my brain. And I'm like, I don't even know how to spell Delle Fave.
That's actually the real way.
Yeah.
That's actually the real way to pronounce it. But when my family came to America from Italy, they tried to Americanize it to make it sound better.
Oh, really? Yeah, we have a story like that in my family's name too. So my family's originally Hungarian, so we had some of that on my dad's side. We had some of that going on too. So good to know I'm not the only one that was abused by Ellis Island. You know.
Yeah, the fava bean. We're over here now. We're Delle Fave.
Yep.
So do we call it a fave bean? I don't know what the strategy is now. All right. Well, hey, I know who you guys are. We are in a mastermind together, and I had a great time with you guys in Orlando. We got a bunch done. We got to learn and meet amazing people, but not everybody might be listening to this know who you guys are. So why don't you tell us who you guys are?
We are just a husband and wife, homeschooling family of 4, full-time real estate investors living down in sunny Florida, originally from upstate New York, aka gray, cold, awful Rochester. No offense, but happy to have left there. And yeah, I've been with this handsome fella since 2008.
Yeah. Be careful. You still invest there, right?
Oh yeah, we'll buy all day long, but I'm not living there.
Yeah, it's just cold. Like today, it's sunny in Florida, and it's like 50 degrees.
And my sister put up her little kid's like a year and a half, and he's in like a snow hat and a puffer coat, and I was like, goodness gracious, we're down here sweating at 87.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born and raised. I'm in Houston. I was born and raised here in Houston, but I had a corporate job where I got to travel a lot, like every week for 8 years, Monday through Friday. I would fly to a different city, and our corporate office was in Philly. And so while I was kind of born and raised down here, I feel like I got like a pseudo Northeastern experience because I would like fly up there and there's like 2 feet of snow on the ground. And I'm like, did it snow? They're like, no, it's been there for 2 weeks, you know? Yeah. And then I would fly back down. I would go up there in like shorts and a polo, like this was a mistake, and then fly back to Houston. So I had to have like 2 wardrobes. And I knew there was a difference between North and South when guys above me from the corporate office would fly down here, and I would like take them to go see a job site or investigation we're doing. And they would take their phone and they would be just doing this in a circle. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, I'm sending a video to my wife. It's 70 degrees and windy and sunny here. And like, it's been gray for a month back in PA, you know? And so they're like, we're going to retire down here. So I always,
that's kind of what happened to us because when I met Jen, we were dating for a month and we went on a trip together to Florida to come visit my grandparents. And like back then we were both like, we want to retire. We want to be able to live in Florida. I just knew like the palm trees, the sunshine, the no more snow and cold. So the fact that we could do that much, much younger than we even thought was imaginable because of real estate, that actually got to be our reality while we were still in our 40s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys didn't wait to your 60s like so many other people I've met in Florida that retired down there.
Yep.
Nope.
So why don't you guys tell me about your first deal? I've heard you guys talk a lot about how you got in real estate, but I never really heard about your first deal.
Yeah, so I got...
You're doing your first deal or our first deal?
I'll go both, but the first one I did was because we bought my friend bought a course on TV 25 years ago, and it was a VCR tape and some cassette tapes, and it was like, make $3,000 in 30 days. This was the year 2000. Back then, I was 22. I was completely broke. I had no money, like no money. But I saw this said make $3,000, so I begged my friend to let me borrow it. I watched the tapes. I did what it said. A month later, I put my first property under contract. I mean, I had less than $1,000 to my name, so I had definitely no ways buying this house. But what the course said, I just followed it step by step. And my family were like, "You're crazy. This is never going to work. You're pulling some scam and whatever they were getting into." But I just followed the right steps. Talked to the attorneys, made sure I did everything correct. And my first house, I bought it. I only owned it for half an hour and I sold it immediately after. So I did a double closing. on a fixer-upper. I bought it for $25,000. I sold it for $40,000. I made the money in the middle, owning a house for half an hour, doing no work to it. By the time the attorney got paid and some taxes got taken out, I walked away with a check for like almost, it was $12,700. So that's what got me like hooked on real estate. Because when I got a check for almost 13 grand, being that broke and young, it changed my life. But fast forward, I meet Jen in 2008, and I had a house, had a job. She had her house, had a job as a teacher, and
started dragging me to these rundown, disgusting properties with like cat pee all over and just total junkers. And I'm like, guy, what are you doing? Like, I'm a teacher. It's summertime. Like, shouldn't we be barbecuing and hanging by the lake? He's like,
Smells like money.
He's like, I'll give him this. He did say in an email to me that he was like looking to get into real estate. You know, he wants to do a fixer upper. And I was like, well, I kind of live in like a not great house. It was an okay house, but it was a city house. It was older. But we never did anything to my house. But we did end up finding a nice little property in 2008. We were out in Las Vegas for a wedding. And he's there negotiating the deal while we're trying to have a sushi lunch. And that's when I realized I had a special one here.
Yeah, we were just going back and forth on the property. And they finally got to say yes. So we did the deal, bought it, remodeled, rented out. This is back in 2008 when the market was kind of dipping. Most people were like, I'm not buying real estate. But we were finding deals. And there were nice properties out in the suburbs of Rochester. Good school districts, nice areas, just maybe one rundown house on the street. We'd buy it, we'd renovate it. And then that's what really got us hooked into, like, it was addicting. I'm like, well, how many more of these can we get? And, you know, we buy enough of these, she could walk away from being a teacher. And when we get married and have kids, like, what better way to have the kids get home from school to have my wife home? I was like, this is like a fairy tale thing. Like, let's do that. So that was really our goal. So we started buying more and got into,
we really still own that one,
yeah.
by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's gone up a whole lot in value since then. I will tell you that.
You still own your first deal. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sad to say that I recently sold my first deal after having it for 5+ years.
We got a whole bunch of them back then. And the ones that we bought back then, what they're worth now, it's made us a multimillionaires because of holding real estate long-term. Properties go up in value. You've got renters paying off your debt. You're getting monthly cash flow, and you're getting deductions off your taxes from the government for owning these properties. So,
17 years we'll have that property.
Bam.
Creepers.
Bam.
All right.
That mortgage is more than half. Did you refinance it?
Oh, yeah. That thing's been paid off.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love that. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way when I did my first couple of houses. You know, the Burr method is what I do. Everyone pretty much knows what that is. And it's like when you do 1 and 2 and 3, there's like this belief curve that you have to get over. It's like, I understand it. I read the books. I know the theory, but it's different when you actually do it. You feel it. You see that payoff statement. You pay off your private money or your hard money lender. You're in the long-term debt. It's over. There's a renter in there. It's cash flowing. And you're just like, wow. How many more of these can I do? Like it's like good debt is addicting. And when I first came into this, I was scared of debt because I had that poor middle class or like blue collar mentality of pay everything off, own everything, you know, save every penny. But once you learn the difference between good debt and bad debt, I will say it is insanely addicting. It was like, I remember times where I was just laying in bed. It was almost like, I don't know. It's like what I like imagine like an alcoholic or something. Like I'm just laying in bed and my heart is racing and I feel myself sweating and I'm supposed to be sleeping and I'm like, I need to get another deal.
Well, you know what? And that was happening to us. Like we were buying these properties, but it was pretty slow. But then when I found out that the bank actually cut you off from burring at 10 properties. So it's now fast forward 2016. We're married, have 2 kids. Little ones. I'm at the bank refinancing, and my friend there, who was the mortgage officer, is like, we're going to be cutting you off soon. I was like, what do you mean cutting me off? I've got great credit. I got a high paying job. I got all these rental properties. So I've got assets. Like, what do you mean you're going to cut me off? He's like, well, the bank cuts you off at 10 mortgages. So what are you going to do after that? And I was like, well, what do you mean? I didn't even know that was a thing. So back in 2016, I went on a deep dive of like Google, YouTube, everything I could find to look at like, how can I actually like scale a real estate portfolio without using banks, without getting cut off? Am I trying multiple banks, like money lenders? Like it was really mind boggling. And then I found the way that what we was like, oh my gosh, like I could actually buy a rental with $100 down and without using my credit and no credit checks and no bank approvals, and the seller's going to finance it for me with just $100 down. I was like, there's no way. So 2017, we actually hired a coach. The first one where I got his course, now he's got a program, and we paid a lot of money, but we learned from them exactly what to do step by step. I did direct mail. We spent a lot of money on direct mail back then. And that deal was, he inherited it from his grandfather. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice house, 10 minutes from where we lived. And if we paid his price, which was more than fair, he was okay with financing it. And when I tried to give him the $100 down, I'm telling you, Michael, he didn't even want it. He loved it. He was like, you're paying my price. No, I'm good. And I'm like, no, it's a deposit. Like, you need to take this $100. Like, he was like, didn't want it, but we did it. And I only paid him $500 a month. He didn't charge us any interest. So it was a 0% mortgage. And we just paid seller Steve directly every month instead of going to like a loan with Bank of America. And then when I did that deal, I got to tell you, that's when everything changed. This is when I realized that where like, if the market goes up or the market goes down, interest rates are low, interest rates are high, it doesn't matter, because the way we buy real estate, the interest rates are always low. Because if not, I'm not going to take the deal. So even now, where rates are trickling that 7%, we're still talking to sellers today who have a 2 and 3% mortgage, or they're looking at seller financing. Some of these we've done it at 1.5%. So there are ways, even if the market is kind of like trashing out, because in some areas in the US right now, it's still red hot. The Northeast, especially, real estate's still over asking. Our flips in New York are going crazy. Meanwhile, Florida, the market's slower. Texas is the same thing. But there's a lot of these people, 40% have a house they own outright. So you could be able to pay that seller directly. And then other people who have a mortgage, it's like 60% have an interest rate at 2 and 3%, under 4. So there's still majority of the houses across the whole US, there's deals everywhere still, even today. Cash flowing properties that you can buy. And it works on multifamily, it works on single family homes. It's been the best. So that's what changed our whole world and how we bought real estate.
Yeah, I always tell people, choose your own reality. Like, what is your belief system? A lot of problems, a lot of the objections I get from newer people that I'm talking to, they don't believe you can buy houses for 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. I got to show them HUDs. I got to show them data to show that people are doing that every day. And then they're like, okay, but what about rates? And I have to show them, like, doesn't matter what rates are today. There are strategies where you can buy 2%, 3% interest rate mortgages, sometimes even lower.
I mean, if you look at a property, 269 Nunda Boulevard, Nunda, Nunda Boulevard, Rochester, New York, we bought that property with $100 down, the gorgeous property, turnkey, and they had a 2.75 interest rate. Like, and it's a beautiful house in like a high-end neighborhood. So like, those people are out there. And that was an Airbnb that he just wanted to sell. It wasn't working well for an Airbnb. Cash flowed like a monster for long-term rental because the rate was so low. And he just wanted out. $100 down. Easiest deal ever. I mean, it took me 10 minutes.
What was easier, seller Steve or seller?
I'd say Nunda Boulevard was easier because I only had to see him one time. And it was like, he was like in a hurry, like just hurry up and like have me sign so I could leave and take over my payment. Where seller Steve, I actually had to talk to him 2 times. Both super easy peasy though. Super easy with motivated sellers. That was the point. Both are motivated. They have their motivation. Maybe it's price, maybe it's just speed. But neither one of these were like junkers. These were like nice houses. And this is what kind of flipped my mind. Because if you're trying to burr right now, your business is just sitting on the sideline waiting till things get better. And if you're trying to fix and flip, like with the market kind of getting a little weird, you know, I know people who've got flips on the market and they're just sitting. And that's a shame, right? But for me, like, I'm looking to just stack up cash flowing properties, really nice properties that bring us paychecks every month. Like, that's like the bread and butter. Because over time, that's how you build wealth. That's the only way to do it. Fix and flipping and burring. I mean, that can over time, but fix and flips and wholesales, you're making transaction money, but you're not building wealth.
Yeah, that's right. The tax code is not set up to benefit flippers and wholesalers. The tax code is set to benefit people who hold on to assets long term.
Yeah, and your renters are paying it down once again. So, long term, it works out beautifully.
Yeah, good debt. This is the good debt that we were talking about. This isn't a credit card. This isn't student loans. This isn't $1 million loan on a property that you live in personally that you're paying out of your own pocket. This is good debt being paid off by other people while you collect tax write-offs.
Well, and here's the best part, because the way we do it, I'm not even taking on the debt personally. I'm not pulling my credit report. I don't need to have even credit. Like if I've got zero score or bad credit, it doesn't make a difference. There's no bank approvals needed. That's why this has been like the best kind of debt you can have when it's not even yours, but you still own the property.
Are you ready to get started on your real estate investing journey? Well, we put together free resources to help you get started. Check the link in the description.
Yeah, so the deal where you paid 100 down and that was you took over the mortgage subject to on that one?
The second property?
Yes.
Something very similar to that. We like doing with wraps, not subject to, because there's some small differences, but we're from New York originally, and attorneys in New York do not like subject to deals because it really kind of leaves the seller unprotected. With a wrap, the way we do, they're very similar. I'm just paying that mortgage directly, but there's documents inside that protect the seller with a new note created, and that's what it is. And that's a whole other thing. But yeah, it's very similar, but attorneys love it. They're cool with it. And we're just paying that bank directly. The loan stays in the seller's name. I don't have to assume it. I just close on it with the attorney. I take ownership, and then we just pay that bank directly.
So you get the deed to the property. That goes to you or your LLCs, but the mortgage, the debt that's on the property stays in the name of the seller, the person who originally sold you the property, right?
Yeah. And this isn't like a new tactic. This has been going around for decades and decades and decades, for like ever. That's why I said when I found out that this even existed, I was like, does everybody know about this? Like I thought like I was the guy that discovered fire, like the caveman, right? Like back in the day. I went around telling everybody about like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like if you're going to buy real estate, even if it's your own house, like I've got so many friends that we've helped or clients of ours that they bought their own house using this method, and they loved it so much, not just a rental. They're like, we're moving in, actually keeping it. So it's really, really cool. It works for rental properties or even that. Heck, one of our guys did it on a car wash. Works.
I love it. So how did you guys find that deal? The one where you put $100 down?
Which one? We got a whole bunch
Well,
of those.
the first one was the yellow. Yeah. The first one was a yellow letter campaign where we spent a lot of money. And that was in 2017. And then the one that we were talking about where we end up taking over his mortgage, that actually came in through a referral. So we do a lot of social media marketing. We love Facebook. We can kind of get into that a little bit too. But this was just because we put ourselves out there. And it actually came in through we had another property where that seller needed a little bit more. He was moving to North Carolina. I think we gave him $5,000 down. But someone that moved into that property as a tenant buyer, because we love rent to own, had recommended that this Nunda Boulevard property, the owner of that, talk to us because he knew that we had this business of how we can take over mortgages and we can really help sellers out in a jam. And since Joe said it was a failed Airbnb, like it just was not performing. It was a huge house, lots of cleaning fees, like the whole nine. He reached out through seeing us on Facebook and sent an email, and we chatted with him, and Joe went over to the property and I Venmo'd him $100 down.
Yeah, like I was at the property. I'm like, hey, Venmo him the deposit, please. He's signing the paperwork fast. Like I did a walkthrough. He's like, yep. I'm like, here's the agreement. I showed it to him 3 minutes, top, not even a minute maybe. And he was like, oh, no. Yep. Sign.
It's such a wonderful method, especially if you're known in town, because we really became known as the experts of lease options or rent to own in the Rochester area. And we had a really great name for ourselves. And so people know that they can come to us with these real estate problems and we'll be able to help them out. And that's probably one of our favorite deals that we've ever done to date.
Yeah. And why would the seller do this is what most people think. Well, he wanted a quick sale. He wasn't going to take a lowball offer. Beautiful house. He needed to get that payment off his back yesterday. Right? Because he's making that mortgage payment plus utilities while the house is sitting there empty. I mean, it was furnished. It looked beautiful. But he needed to get the payment off his back because he was done Airbnb. News, what really kind of was happening, super swanky neighborhood. I think the neighbors were giving him some crap for running an Airbnb out of such a nice house that he's getting some pressure from the town, or at least I know from the neighbors for sure. So he's like, yeah, I better not do it anymore. And he didn't want like some crazy high price. He gave us a really fair price on it.
And the kicker, there was $60,000 in equity.
Yeah.
He was going to wait the length of the loan for the remainder of his equity.
Yeah, he didn't care about getting
There was no hybrid seller finance, make a payment. No, we just took over the payment to UVM Mortgage, which was around $1,700. And I just made those payments on his behalf.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Yeah, that's why I don't do Airbnbs either. I know we're just speculating here, but unless it's in an established long-term market, like a town full of beach houses or like cabins in Eastern Tennessee, I wouldn't do Airbnb either. And you just found somebody that they didn't want the low ball cash offer. Some people do, and that works for them, but there are so many people out there that need options other than a low ball cash offer for 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar.
Well,
Some people are in no hurry to get their money.
and that was the thing. We paid full price. I mean, we were like, what
It
do
was
you
a
want?
beautiful house. You can't offer him 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh yeah, he would have laughed you right out of there. And this is just another strategy because sometimes we still find those fixer uppers. But my real favorite is when I don't even need to hire a contractor. I mean, with that, it was clean, ready to go.
He did put up smoke alarms.
We did have to put up a couple smoke alarms, but that was all. I mean, it was
Yeah, no,
ready
it was
to
a
go.
pretty house.
Yeah, so you said you found the deal through yellow letters, which are expensive. I did yellow letter campaigns years ago as well, and I don't do them anymore, not nearly as much as I used to. So, how are you guys finding deals now?
Yeah, there's plenty of ways. Our favorite is Facebook. We absolutely love Facebook. I feel like that is such a great place to connect with people that own homes. It's a little bit of an older crowd on Facebook, and everybody's on it, and what comes with that are people with unwanted properties. And so we do all sorts of things, because you gotta look at Facebook from kind of different facets. You've got your personal page where you're personally just telling who you are, sharing maybe your dog, your pet, whatever. And then you can have a business page. And with a business page, you can run sponsored ads if you have that kind of budget. But maybe you're just getting started and you don't have a budget for marketing. Then you can use your personal page and join Facebook groups. And that's honestly like one of our favorite ways to be able to help people out. And now these are not real estate groups. And I think that's where a little bit of a misconception happens. I'm not telling you to go join real estate of Florida or, I don't know.
No, you're joining local groups. That's it. Like local mom and pop.
These are like towny groups. Yeah. Like buy and sell community groups. The mom groups. But basically any place that people are just chatting and hanging out. And you want to just kind of go in, join these groups, and you want to answer questions, ask questions. Joe's been doing this locally.
Oh my gosh, it just went wild because what we were doing started actually back in New York. I would join local Rochester, New York, like yard sale groups. And they'd have 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 people in them, depending on the group. And I'd go in these groups and I'd always do like different things to talk about, like we buy houses, and none of them really worked that well, like almost none of them. And then we discovered this one that, oh my gosh, when I did this, Michael, I put it in I took Jen's Facebook, I took her iPad, and I put it in like 10 different groups with her profile. And I still remember I'm home, I'm like playing Call of Duty, and she's like in the kitchen. She starts like yelling. She's like, what did you do to my Facebook? And I forgot because like I was used to doing this and not working. I did it and it literally took off. Like everybody was messaging, everybody was commenting. It was like inundated. I had to take all the posts down because we were getting so many people like reaching out to us. So then we started experimenting with this more, trying in different groups all around the country. And then was like the secret sauce. So it's like joining those local groups. So it doesn't matter where you live. If you're in Houston, I'm going to be going under Facebook, under my own profile, go in the search bar. I'm going to type in Houston, Texas. I'm going to click on pages I'm clicking groups. And then it's going to show me all of these groups that are based around the Houston, Texas name area, places like that. And I'm joining them all. Join every one of them. What ones, Joe? Every one of them. That's the ones. If it's like a real estate group, real estate investing group, I'm still going to join it, but I don't really post this in that group. I'm looking for homeowners, not other investors. But when I go to those groups, what I do is I make a post. And if you're going to do this, there's only if I'm going to tell you, there's two things you got to make sure you don't mess this up. Don't mess it up if you're listening. Number one, personal profile. Does anyone have a house for sale that's not market ready? I'm looking to buy one in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I've seen different variations of that. It does not work as well. I took all of the thinking out of it for you. I've tested it millions of different times. That's what works. And before I submit that into a group, I'm going to change the background color. I like blue. I like pink, whatever it is. And if you post that into 5-6 groups a day, 5-6 days a week for 30 days, you're going to have more incoming leads for free than you could handle. And it works all across the country. It doesn't matter what state you're in. You could be in Alaska posting down in lower 48 and still get leads. It doesn't matter. So if you're doing a market remote, like if I'm going to be doing PPC ads in Los Angeles, California, it's going to be a lot of money. I'm going to spend quite a few $100s to get a lead. I could join every group in Los Angeles, make posts for free in these groups, and have people start DMing me off-market properties. Now I can start asking some questions in the DMs, and I'm getting on the phone with the good ones. And it's just that easy. Because here's the thing, if you're a real estate investor, the good deals aren't on Zillow. They're just not. They're off-market, direct to seller, without spending thousands of dollars. This has been the best way by far that we've been helping investors and ourselves for 5-6 years doing this way.
Yeah, that has been the traditional method to find deals, is spend thousands and thousands of dollars on direct mail, PPC, PPL, you name it.
Oh, buddy, we've done it. We've done it all. Cold calling, making thousands of phone calls and door knocking and what's going on with the neighbor. Oh my gosh. Like, right. And don't get me wrong, it all does.
It all works. But if you're a busy mom and you're in the car line, or you're a dad who doesn't have a ton of time, but you could drop a couple of these posts, and then on your lunch break, you can message your sellers, and then you hop on a call on the way home from dinner. That's how people are doing deals. We don't have 8 hours a day if you're working a full-time W-2. And so we like to kind of crack that myth right there and show everyone that it is possible. It does take some time. You're going to need to find the small cracks of your day, but just if the will is there and you want it bad enough, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Hey, and worst case scenario, if you're a more experienced investor like myself, you can have your virtual assistant do it. I have a laptop that sits next to me that stays signed in to certain business applications, and she remotes into it and controls it. So this is something that if you have a team, you can also just put on the background while you're running with your other programs and other tasks. So
two rules. The first rule, don't change the ad. Okay. Second rule, our record is we've had 1,100 comments on one of those posts. So Rule number 2 is if you get more than 1,100 comments on one of your posts, you just got to DM me or message me and say, holy cow, I broke your record, bro. And I want to hear about it, right? I want to put you on our wall of Hall of Fame. But that's the record on one post.
And where can they DM you?
Just right on my Instagram or Facebook, either way.
Don't even check Instagram.
Okay, then text my cell phone, 585-207-2240. That's my cell phone number. So text me your name and show me a screenshot of how many people commented. And sometimes people are really nice and they comment a house. Once in a while, you get a knucklehead that says scam. Like I reply, no scam, just a guy looking to buy a house. Agents might reach out and they're like, what are you looking for? I'm like, send me anything you have that's not market ready. Like I keep those comments popping because that's what keeps the algorithms boosting on that post. And before you know it, you could have a few hundred incoming leads without spending a dime anywhere you want to target across the country. But here's the thing. If you post it in more than 5-6 groups a day, Facebook will slow your account down. Mm-hmm. So I could tell everybody about it because if you're going to post into 20 groups, Facebook's going to whack your account anyways. So the way to keep it underneath the radar, but really effective, 5 groups a day, do it 5-6 days a week. Do that for ongoing for 30 days. You do it though, and you're going to have more leads than you can handle that month.
Wow, that's you cut me off. I was about to ask that question. How many posts a day? How many days a week can you post? How many groups can you join in a month before you've seen have problems? A month, a day, a week. If I was going to start this right now, or someone listening starts right now, how many groups to join in a day is too many?
Yeah, so definitely like tortoise versus the hare, right? So I would say like 10 to 15 groups a day to join, but only post 5 to 6 times a day. So I would keep it around 5 posts a day. Because what happens is there are ways to like create bots or whatever, and like Facebook's going to whack that. So don't act like a bot and act like a person. Post into your groups 5 times a day. Keep joining, but yeah.
And how long after joining a group are you okay posting? Do you wait a few days? Do you interact with other comments first, or do you just go right to posting your question, your ad?
That really depends on the group. Some groups, they'll make you approve their first post. Some let you just go shoot right from the beginning. You'll know that when you go to put it, like, an admin has to approve your post first. And if they do, then you could put something else on there too. I usually like to ask, like, what's the best restaurant in town or something like that, just to get it moving. It helps me get the quality engagement in the group. And so if I get a group that's really engaging, oh yeah, I'm going to do that in a couple of days, right again.
Man, I love that. And then do you do this on your real main Facebook account? Do you have multiple Facebook accounts? How have you managed that?
Nope, just personal account.
I think you just use your personal account, dust it off. If somebody's listening and they haven't used Facebook, now's the time. And right now it's very much free. And I think that we need to be able to take advantage of that, because who knows, maybe you won't be able to post in groups in the near future or in the future, without getting a fee or something. You don't know what is happening, but like there's never been an easier time to find a deal through free Facebook marketing than today.
Yeah, this is like the golden age of lead generation you guys have unlocked here, because I used to do cold calling and I used to do text blasting. Regulations change and it whacked it. There's some people that still do it. It's much harder. It's much more expensive now. And a lot of people are moving to PPC or PPL, where you're paying per click or lead. It works. It is so expensive depending on what city you're in. And it's just companies that specialize in it going out and doing the work to find lead for you and staying compliant with all the laws. And that comes with huge costs. And I think everybody's running to that right now. And so I think that kind of creates this great big open. It's kind of like Moses parting the Red Sea. It's like everyone goes after these two strategies, and there's this open highway to very cheap deals, or cheap leads or free leads to get amazing deals.
Free,
Yeah,
absolutely free.
If you really let's say you are going to go local, or even if you're not, build up your organic social. So show that you're a real person. Make sure you're not hiding behind a dog photo or a cat. I mean, if you're going to put your pet in your photo, at least have your smiling face with them too. And let the sellers get to know who you are. This is a house that you're trying to buy. So you need to sell yourself. And you need to be looking trustworthy, and that they can feel like they can know you, and they can really get a sense for, okay, this person is legitimate. And that's why we recommend having a free, once again, Facebook business page. Even if you haven't done a deal, go out there, make the page. Jen buys 585. That's our old area code. And I would every single week make sure I scheduled out my posts, especially when we went full time in 2020, to make sure that people knew very clearly what we did. We buy and we sell. And I have seller testimonials, I have reviews, I have stories, I have got me and the kids getting donuts, tagging local business locations. And I can't tell you how many of our referrals or even our clients come for free, and they offer $1,000 if I close on a house. And so really my marketing is $0, and I only pay if I actually close on a deal. And that works.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go any further, I've just got to point out to anybody listen to this, go check out Joe and Jen's Facebook, Joe Delle Fave and Jen Delle Fave. It is amazing. Every day you guys pop up in my feed, and my wife is me and my wife are laying in bed looking at y'all's posts and y'all's smiling faces every day. And we're this makes my wife want to be more involved with real estate. We're we got to be a husband and wife duo, because my wife is involved in the business, but not as much as, as she could be. And she's definitely not sitting next to me as I do podcasts with headphones on, adding in more input than Joe himself here. So,
buddy, I'm a lucky guy. There's nobody else I would rather do this with than her. And so the fact that I'm married to her and I get to do this, and she's not even paying me to say this right now, I mean, it's the truth. It doesn't get any better.
But it took a little bit of a journey to get here. I was an English teacher, and he was in the car dealership world. So finances, numbers, that was his thing. And so the house thing was really cute until all of a sudden the tax bills got mailed to one of our rentals. And I realized that, holy cow, this is kind of turning into a big business. I've got a 6-month-old and a 1.5-year-old, and he's trying to buy another property. And now the town's all mad because I didn't pay these taxes. And I was like, I better step in and start organizing. And I found where his weaknesses were, which is paperwork and organizing, because he's the deal maker, the analyzer, and doing all of that. And then what did I do? Oh, I decided I'm going to sell vitamins and jewelry and get into a little MLM. But you know what that taught me? Social media marketing. And so that gave me the confidence to now, okay, this is how you share things online, and I can make a couple bucks selling vitamins. Or Joe said, if you focus a little bit more on houses, that could maybe get me out of the dealership. We could help more people on a bigger scale. And honestly, that's kind of how we ended up here. So he was patient. I was patient. We found our roles through, trial and error essentially. And that's what you're seeing today. But, it is what we wanted. When I met him in 2008, this was our goal: move to Florida and work full time together. Didn't know what that meant exactly back then. But here we are.
Oh man, you guys are an amazing couple. For everybody not watching on YouTube, switch over to my YouTube now, Michael Hoang or Michael at Michael B someone, and check out this amazing couple on the video live in front of your faces. So I would love to talk to you guys forever, but we got to get out of here. So last part of the show here, I interview a lot of entrepreneurs and real estate investors, and our life is like a ship sailing through the sea. It's big, it's bulky, it's slow. It takes a long time to turn. And what I found, a lot of people say the reason they turn their ship into the course of real estate, usually a book. So what book either brought you into real estate or changed how you did business once you were already in real estate?
I think the best book for me was way before I even really got into it, was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, originally printed in 1937. I feel like all the great stuff was built back then, and a lot of the versions since then are like regurgitated versions of that book, many different other authors. But if you want like the OG book of the books, that's the one. And it even talks about like the mastermind and how it should be your spouse. It talks about all these principles right in that book. And I had to read it and listen to it a handful of times before I could really start grasping it. So it's not like just a one done and put it down again. Like you might need to read and listen to that book 2 or 3 times before you could really start grasping. But I will tell you, that's the one that more successful people than not tend to go to. That book is one of the big ones in their life.
Yeah, I have a reread list. I like that you said you got to read it a few times to grasp it. I have a reread list that every year, I got to think of a better word than reread list, but every year I reread it over and over again. And Rich Dad Poor Dad's on that list because while the words never change in that book, I do. And so I get something different out of it all the time. And I guess Think and Grow Rich is probably the same with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parts that you really need will speak to you most.
Yeah. And so we're big believers of the go-giver here. And so I like to tell everyone every episode, when you were born, your parents gave to you long before you were capable of giving back to them. And so if you think you're going to hold firewood and come into this business and look at the chimney and say, give me heat first, and then I'll give you this wood, it's going to be a very cold winter. So I ask every guest in every episode, what could you give the audience today?
We got lots of goodies. Yeah. So if you head over to Creative Finance Playbook, we love to give you that exact blue ad, is what we call it, because Joe said pick a color. We always tend to pick blue, but we give you the wording of how to go into the Facebook groups and to post it. And then along with that, what to say to those sellers, because I think those 2 things are the most important parts. Like, take the action. And so we love that. And then if you still are looking for more, we have live free trainings.
Yeah, we have a free training coming up. And we spend just going over step by step of exactly how to implement these strategies into your business. So how to get leads like today. Here's how we, look at that lead and find out, are they a motivated seller or not? There's nothing worse than talking to unmotivated sellers, right? So we have a system that's really simple. Find out who's the motivated ones to talk to. And then what does that conversation look like? How do I make that a deal? Is this a deal or no deal? Like some live case studies of like, this is deals that we've done. This is why we've done them. Here's even some we didn't do because of this reason. Like, we passed on a 7-unit apartment house with no money down with a really low rate because it had some other things, right? Even with seller financing. So we kind of go over these case studies of real examples, not just make believe stuff. So if somebody wants to get a link, we can share it with your audience. We'll send it over. But it is myself. It is Jen. We have some other rock stars come in and pop in and join us. Even one of our friends, Tom Kroll, came on a couple weeks ago, who's always awesome. Brent Daniels. We always have some great guests on there too. But it's just really to show you how to do it. So we could definitely hook your audience up with that.
That's awesome. And they'd also be able to find it. Are you going to put that on your Facebook, or where else would they find that?
Yeah, it's going to be on our Facebook and in our Facebook group, Creative Finance Playbook. The Facebook group, go hop in there. I mean, there's a ton of great resources. The link to the free training is in there. And I just love to share. So we go live. We just share how it is to get deals. And if everybody listening needs some help, you need to get leads, right? Mm-hmm. You need to get leads. And if you can get incoming leads without spending money, like first check of business, done. Now, once you get leads, is this a wholesale deal like what Michael was mentioning earlier? Because it's a fixer-upper and they're willing to give you a huge discount and they only need cash. Is this a beautiful house I can make an offer on with terms? So there's no lead left behind. We can make an offer on every deal. And so the big give is for all y'all to get that check, okay? And how to do it is by getting some leads in front of you and having some conversations and just talk to some people. Solve their real estate problem. Get yourself a big old check. If you break my record on the most comments on one post, you got to text me. I would drop my cell phone number and rock out, guys. People need help. We're here to help them.
Yeah, drop that cell phone number again in case they weren't listening.
585-207-2240. And that is my phone. So if you call me and I answer, don't be all surprised. And if you call me late night, I will call you back super early in the morning. I wake up like 5 or 6, so be ready.
Yeah, you're crazy like me. I also give my cell phone number away on the podcast. I love that. And then
Yep.
what can the audience give you today?
Come hang out with us on socials. You'll find us YouTube channel. We also have a podcast, so Creative Finance Playbook. And then, like you said, on Facebook, Jennifer Joseph Delle Fave. And then Instagram, Jen Delle Fave, Joseph Delle Fave. So we're all over. Give us some love.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And I give out my cell phone number on every episode. It's 832-301-9672. Don't call me. I'm not as crazy as Joe. Don't call me because I won't answer because I get spam calls just like everybody else. Shoot me a text first. If you have any questions or you have a deal you want me to look at, shoot me a text. And we got to get out of here. So this is Michael Hoang signing off.
Each week on the Get Wealth Show, you hear real conversations with investors, entrepreneurs, and operators who are building real wealth in the real world. If you're ready to start building wealth through real estate, click the link in the description for free resources and tools to help you get started. And if you want more practical, real-world conversations, follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. We'll see you next time on the Get Wealth Show.